chapter 22, he's blind for a reason. So Foster starts the chapter off with this Oedipus Rex recap and how he's situationally blind to what's really going on, and so that kind of provides some enticement to the story. And so then he also goes into the fact that if a author writes a blind character into a story, the blind character may have to be led around in a new place, might bump into things, something like that. And so because it produces this extra work for the author to introduce a blind character, that blindness is probably put in there for a reason. And then he goes into some examples of blindness, but he gets back to this point of a Indiana Jones principle. If you want the audience to know something important about a character, introduce it early, before you need it. Because, and the example he gives out of Indiana Jones is in the middle of one of the stories when Indiana Jones becomes afraid of snakes. We wouldn't believe it was just introduced then. But because he introduced it earlier in the story, it makes it more believable later in the story. And then kind of wrapping up the vision thing, a boy there's a story, I really like this because it was quite interesting. He tells the story of a boy who was on like a train and got in an accident and is now made blind. But kind of the metaphorical behind the scenes of that, is that he was able to, as a young child, be saying like, okay, this is where I want to go with my life. I can see my future, and then he has this rock thrown at him, which takes away his sight and takes away the future he has planned. So as his vision of his future is taken away, so is his sight, kind of thing. And then he kind of wraps up in back at Oedipus's point is that he gets guidance. So maybe you could make that a point into getting guidance from other people in the story. But that's really all Foster covers, and he's blind for a reason, because the blindness is in there for a reason. And look for, when you're reading